Hello everyone. Today I had a GrubHub customer demand a full refund. Now she didn't demand it from me, but she did call up the headquarters, the GrubHub headquarters, to discuss why she wanted a full refund. And they did call me to find out what went down. And I'm going to tell you the story from the start, and there's a reason why I'm telling you the beginning of the story. In my opinion, why I had to tell you this. I wasn't going to do deliveries this week. Doing food deliveries right now for me is extra income. I had an extra day off. I said I could get some errands done and make a few bucks. I chose GrubHub. It was just a gut feeling. I opened up the app and they had 2 spots open, that's it. 11:30, 2 blocks to 1, and then 1:30 to 3:30. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Right in town, do a few things, make a few dollars, how nice. So they needed someone to fill those blocks. That's why I'm telling you this from the start. I do my first delivery. Now the second delivery is when I had a problem with a customer. I personally didn't have a problem with her, but the company did, GrubHub. And maybe the restaurant, I'm not really sure. But I picked up the food. Again, it was a delivery to an office building, a huge office building. Got up to the 9th floor. I was delivering it to an attorney's office. I walk in, and when I go into a professional setting like that, I make sure that I walk in unnoticeable as possible. I stand to the side. I don't go anywhere near people in the waiting rooms or who's ever in there working and walking around. I do my job. I drop off the food. I have the receptionist, which she greeted me, and she got the woman to come out. And, I went to go deliver my food. I turned around. I was like, hello, here's your food. I took out of the bag, nice solid bag. It was fitted, flat solid bottom, insulated bag. It had 2 entrees and a soup on top of the entrees. The food was wrapped up in paper bag, and then the paper bag was placed in a plastic bag. Now, when I handed it to her, she was like, wait a minute, this is all wet. So before I walk away, not that I had to, I just showed respect, and I was like, oh, what do you mean? I said, oh, it looks like the soup seeped out a little bit. The soup cover was like a little flimsy, kiddie soda top that you would give a kid at a restaurant, like one of those little flimsy plastic tops. Well, that's not my fault. I wasn't flipping her food around or anything like that. It came out of the bag exactly how I put it into the bag, and I'm very gentle and careful when I deliver people's food. That's why I use the insulated bags that have a semi-soft, they're semi-soft, semi-hard, semi-soft, so they're firm, and they hold the food upright. There's a flat, solid bottom with a thick piece of plastic on the bottom of the bag. It's a properly insulated bag. So then she's going on and on. She was like, what should I do? Look at this. This is, in my opinion, but it doesn't really matter what I think. That was a minor inconvenience. I mean, stuff like that happens. It wasn't like she lost the whole soup. Well, she demanded a full refund later on. I already knew that she was going to call, because she said, what should I do? Should I call the restaurant? I'm like, well, if you want to, ma'am, or you could, do whatever. I just said, if you want to, ma'am. And I was like, well, you have a nice day, folks, because it wasn't a major deal. And I did this for a reason. I want you to see how this is a little wet. This is just a cup with some water in a bag. And I know I don't have a paper bag in there, but that's how it looked. And you know what happens? It was a flimsy top. It's not my fault that the restaurant didn't have. I work at a food store, and their soup covers, you put those suckers on, you can flip it upside down. Those covers aren't coming off. Well, that's how they should be done when you serve soup. So I go about my business. I go downstairs. I get another order. I go deliver. And while I'm in that third delivery, speaking to the restaurant people, the phone's ringing. And I see that it's Chicago. And I'm like, oh, that's GrubHub headquarters. Okay, so I finished speaking with the restaurant people. I said, oh, the food will be 5 more minutes? Okay, I'm going to go outside and make a phone call. I call them right back. They get me, the right people get me on the phone that were seeking me to speak with me. So they asked me what happened, and I was like, well, the soup did spill. I said, but she didn't lose the cup of soup. It, seeped out of the flimsy top that was protecting the soup. The top wasn't very secure. It was a cheap top. I said, but the other food in that bag was not damaged. Well, she's claiming, she's demanding a full refund. I think they expected me to get more excited. And I was like, well, listen, I took a picture, a mental picture of it. I made sure I took a really good look at it before I walked away. And that other food was not damaged. And they were like, okay, thank you very much. I think they had to feel me out to see if I was a nut job. I mean, they have people in the field that aren't that great, but I'm very respectful. I just, this woman, I'm telling you, she the moment I even before she knew it spilled, I just had a funny vibe with her. What are you going to do? You got to make people happy, they're customers. So today, this is why I tell you the beginning of my story. I took 2 blocks that needed to be filled at the last minute when someone canceled out on them. I got my butt on the road and I did my job. Where now the next 2 orders I got, one was a $5.10, and the next one, and I declined it because now I'm like, I was in the middle of doing an UberEats, and you want to hear the next story? I had a real doozy of a day. Listen to the next story, then watch the next video. I'll put that little card up because incredible what happened to me just bothered me. But I didn't miss the delivery. It says I missed one delivery, and then I declined the very last one, and then I swiped. I'm not available to take orders anymore. Because the last one was like $3.04. I was like, that's how you treat someone that went into the field, do a job. I've never had a problem before. The company's got to feel what kind of worker you are. And I was really annoyed by that. So I switched over to UberEats and I swiped off, I'm not available. And that's why. It angered me. I'm going to take a break with GrubHub. I'm not saying I'm never going to do it again. Who knows? I'm just going to go with the flow. But from now on, when I feel the itch to make a few extra dollars, I'm going to stick with DoorDash and UberEats because that really annoyed me. I'm very unhappy that that's the way I was treated after, I don't know what she did after I left. They're like, she has pictures. Well, I took a mental picture before I left. And this woman was making a big deal out of nothing, like a very minor inconvenience in life, not the end of the world. A napkin, a wet wipe could have wiped that right off, and she could have put on a napkin and ate it out of the soup cup, the flimsy soup cup. So things like that happen, folks. If you want to hear what happened with Uber when I took it over, like when I ended GrubHub and I went to Uber, oh, crazy day. Okay, thanks for listening. I hope that, just helps you understand what can happen out in the field and how you should act. Always act proper in front of them. It doesn't matter what you're thinking. Always do the right thing to the customer, so then there's no problem with the company that you work for. Okay, folks, see you later. Bye-bye.